Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to EUCF 2022. 58 of Europe's best and brightest ultimate teams across all three divisions, battling it out to write their name in the pantheon of the elite champions of the continent. And we are in the mixed division for our next game. Pool XB as leftovers from Brno in the Czech Republic, taking on gold from Ghent in Belgium. Benji Rees with you in the commentary booth. Delighted to be joined by Hannah Pendlebury. Morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Benji. We had some excellent games to start us off from the women's division. We just had some Fab versus Gravity. Which
I saw. Yeah, looked tasty.
Oh, it was a mirror image. We had a 4-0 lead for Fab, which was then given up in the second half by a huge run from Gravity. So it's been some spicy action so far. I think we're probably favouring gold here over leftovers. But speaking to both teams ahead of this one, we know that gold are going to try and shut down the male handler set of the leftovers side, trying to let their ladies shine, keep the disc moving, and they're just here to try and compete. Whereas sort of looking at the other side, it's all about trying to stop the give and gold of gold. Put my teeth back in, but the give and gold.
Yeah, two sides with very different fortunes yesterday. Leftovers a 15-7 win over catch-up over Graz in Austria, while gold were 12-1 down to disconnection from Freiburg in Germany when that game was called for lightning. Leftovers beginning the game on offense, with gold coming out in a zone here. And so far, leftovers just happy to begin in quite a slow fashion, dinking and dunking their way down the pitch. Taking the resets when they're available.
Yeah, this is nice flow, nice easy start to the game, but a sort of a putting more of a mental than a physical challenge. It's how do they sort of, you know, how do they put together the puzzle pieces right now? Because they're not really getting anywhere behind this zone. She says commentators cursing herself as they slice straight through.
Commentators curse isn't a thing. Nothing we do or say has any impact on what happens out there. Promise. Here's Preussel for leftovers. Faking the little one through, doesn't like it, dishing it off, and now they're trying to get a bit of slicing and dicing going on. But again, just that flow stopping, and Lichocka goes back into the backfield. It does seem calm, doesn't look like there's any real worry there from leftovers. Just slowly matriculating the way down the pitch.
Yeah, it's decent spacing to keep the disc moving. It's just nice and chill. A rather quiet start to this match, but we do like it.
That one, ooh, maybe a little bit spicy, fizzing it through, but now getting a bit more pace and energy about the offense. Trying to lead this one into the end zone, still not quite there yet, but on the doorstep is Brandstetter, and he will find the option into the end zone for the score. Alice Saurova for the goal.
Yeah, lovely bit of patience and a tiny bit of spice towards the end, sort of nice movements forward. They saw the spaces and took them well. But a good start for Leftovers. Clean hold, we love to see it. Especially, I think there were moments where the pace did start to rise, but then it just sort of dropped down. Beautiful inside shot to Brandstetter. But it's sort of like, it's very easy when you start to make movement through a zone to get a little bit carried away and end up losing possession. But that was a nice sort of, you know, like a meandering run up and over like a set of hills, if that makes sense. So, you know, over the mound and then down again.
Yeah, you pick up spaces, you pick up pace as you go down, and then going up a hill. So we'll just take our foot off the gas a little bit, and then over the brow, and you put the pace back on. Leftovers have competed in Euros, you know, relatively frequently over the past few campaigns, but for gold, certainly the surprise challenger, picking up that last spot in the central region.
But a lot of experience on this Belgian side.
Yeah, gold, if you're not familiar, nominally Gentle Old, so the master side of Gentle in Ghent, but they have added some younger faces for the European season.
Well, you do need a couple pairs of legs, you know, to go and run around against these 20-sums.
That throw is a little bit behind and will be the game's first turnover, giving it to the Czechs. Taking a little bit of time to get their offense into rhythm and motion here after the turn. But so far, they are happy just to take those resets available until they can get a bit of motion downfield. There's a nice gainer into the hands. Newbury, who breaks low, but into the floor.
Yeah, just a difficult one to execute.
This one has got plenty of air underneath it. Proper sky ball, but gold come down with it. Desleper to the end zone. Sensational snag for the score.
Yeah, that is an absolute ripper to reel that one in. Lovely stuff from Piron.
Roline Piron, I think it is, with a sensational grab. Has plenty of European experience, but not for a while. Piron, at previous tournament, was EUCF. EUCF 2014.
I was going to say, well, an 8-year hiatus. Clearly, she's remembered everything she needs to know to absolutely ruthlessly snag it in.
Oh. Amazing. Just to clarify, it's not called a hiatus because it's 8 years long. That's just coincidentally how long it was. It wouldn't be called a high niners.
I see what you did there. But living on the Belgian border, near the beach. So this is her first time representing a non-Dutch team. And I'm sure Gold are very pleased to have her on board. But an opportunity now for Leftovers to perhaps get another nice clean hole like they did before, she says, as they immediately turn it over. Just a missed catch for the number 15.
So on the sideline here, Gold looking to take the lead. Breuker with the stall count rising here, again trying to jam it down the sideline. Another layout comes in.
Oh, that's a huge redemption from Rotier.
Back into the hands of Breuker. Sun Hoodie poking out from underneath their jersey towards the near sideline. Marchand. Trying to stay patient with it here. Our Gold. Now the shot to the end zone. Oh, off the hands. Very nearly a bit of a shot lead there for Gold. But
it was close.
Just maybe came in a little too hot to handle for Ortiz.
I'm surprised not to see the second sort of look at the disc, but perhaps just the veteran experience being like, I'm going to save my body for later on this tournament. Although I did overhear both teams saying in their spirit circle that they wanted to have some fun bids to try and bring some cool action to this live stream so that you watching this one don't get bored.
Could never be bored when you're at EUCF.
Oh, this is good movement from leftovers.
Yeah, doing a much smoother job this possession, and then as soon as they get locked into the backfield, get caught cheating there, they find that little throw up line into the end zone. Bartuszek with the goal.
Oh, Bartuszek, the movement around to get completely wide open right in front of the thrower. Sort of like they're almost like turning all the way around the world. We do love to see it.
Have a look at it again on the replay now. Just calm, inflow, in motion. Get that first handler clearing through, and then the little step into the backfield, and the defender there is turned right round there, Van Hoorwegen, and just simple continuation into the end zone for the score.
And Matthias Brandstetter adds another to his assist tally. Been throwing both of the scores for leftovers so far. So we did talk about how Gold would have to focus on the male matchups, especially in the handler section, allow their women to go to business, which they have been. But that would perhaps be why.
Yeah, neither roster necessarily bringing as many players as some of the other teams we've seen so far this weekend. I say weekend, it's technically still Friday, but you know what I mean, long weekend.
Indeed, and the Ghent program's sending 2 teams, one in the open division, of course, alongside Gold. Gentle obviously having had a great campaign last year.
Yeah, picking up the bronze medal. That swung all the way across the field. Over towards the far side, blading it over the top into the hands of Hoffman. Hoffman again past a bidding defender. Leftovers are coming close on a lot of these passes, but they're not getting the blocks. Desleper goes back to Hoffman. Here's Kindekens. Plenty of space there for Skitakat. Got to credit the leftovers defense here for they've tightened up now that Gold, have got into the red zone, and they're struggling to find some movement. High stall, high release over the top. Finds Skitakat.
Love a good have a swing.
Yeah, nice way of accessing the space on the far side of the field. De la Rivière bouncing it outside the end zone. Now in the hands of Kindekens again. Can they find that option? Playing it short this time. Just happy to take those really short passes as long as they can reset the stall. Selly into the backfield. Skitakat. De la Rivière. Oh, just showing the scoop, but they're putting it back in the locker and really rifling that one in to Corentin Skitakat for the goal.
Yeah, Kotek with the ambitious bid to try and prevent that one, but that was a feisty disc. It had exactly the right amount of pace on it to make sure it worked.
It's always interesting, I find, when you have to do have to commentate on Belgian teams, because you've got to try and work out which of the names are Flemish and which are Walloon, and try to work out the proper pronunciation. So apologies for any of these that I stumble over or get wrong. Always happy to be corrected, of course. Here we see just the slow motion doesn't quite do it justice to how much pace was on that throw. It was really ripped in there. So 2 apiece here. Leftovers again trying to put their noses back in front. All on serve so far.
Yeah, we've had to look at some breaks, but there's been no one to take any, although short field here for gold.
Yeah, gold coach Val Yanni is getting very loud on the sideline. Oh, spicy hammer over the top, and another tip on it from the Leftovers defense to put it away. A couple of times they've got the turnover not too far out here, gold, but haven't been able to punch it in on either occasion. Disc back in for Leftovers.
Really enjoying the active marks of the gold players. Really getting in the faces, working and grinding, trying to put that pressure on.
Sneaks that blade round underneath the mark, and now Brandstedter's putting a bit of air underneath it towards the back of the end zone. Good defensive play there to put enough pressure on it, and Kometsova couldn't bring it in.
Oh, the way that she had her palm open, though, to try and get the second look at that as she sort of hit the deck. Great attack.
It's very good awareness. Nice little leading pass here. On the sideline, floating that one in towards the centre, where it's caught by Bartier. Down the sideline. Love the attempt, even if it doesn't come up with anything there from Guarini.
Yeah, had to lay it just that little bit inch too far, and it's a huge one to the end zone.
Not quite going to reach there, but brilliant field position and just leading pass into the end zone. Cool as you like there for Kanska to catch, and that will be 3-2 to Leftovers. Brandstetter again on the board. Another assist to his name.
And the first goal for Kanska.
Yeah, you can see with the Czech Ultimate, it's very much on the rise. You know, the 3SB have been fixtures in the women's division for a long while. Thinking about now, we've seen Foy in the men's division, but now reverting back to 3SB.
I was also really impressed, actually, to see East Block playing yesterday against Bristol Women. So they unfortunately didn't have the best start to their game. They sort of got in their own heads. Their average age is somewhere in the late teens, early 20s. So future stars for sure coming out and playing some excellent offense yesterday. Unfortunately, that was one of the games that had lightning impact there. So that one got curtailed at half. So they just lost out 8-5 just by virtue of that one being just a half a game. Due to the conditions here, of course, we're doing lots of sun salutes, lots of, breathing exercises to try and blow the stormy cells lurking around the fields here in Venice, far, far away.
Yeah, and you mentioned teams in the women's division as well as Leftovers. Of course, Prague Devils also representing Czech Republic in the mixed division here at EUCF. Gold now trying to work down the sideline. A layout gets a tip on it, but it is still caught right on the end zone line. Skitakat with a little pop in, cool as you like, at the front of the end zone. And that will bring Leftovers level Leftovers and Gold level once more after a bit of a hammering that Gold took yesterday. This will give them a huge confidence boost.
Absolutely. And to pick up on what we were chatting about through the course of that point, Benji, we've had a real Czech-heavy stream so far.
We have, and it's nice to see countries that are maybe not quote-unquote traditional ultimate powerhouses getting some streamed love.
Oh, and I love the jinking movements here from the women of Gold. 3 of them available in the near space, and then eventually Rahali coming across free enough to be taken.
So 3 apiece here. I think neither side's probably shown their best, I think, as yet in this game. But Gold's O-line has only turned it over the once.
I was going to say, looking at the stats, at the moment it's Leftovers currently, not executing on their first shot, and that will start to grind you down eventually.
So Leftovers back on offense here. Brandstetter, I must admit, it might be the only player here at the field wearing a flat cap to play in.
It's an interesting look.
It's distinctive, certainly.
Well, I still remember meeting one of our fellow commentators, Ravi Vasudevan, who was wearing a rather interesting hat, the first one at University Ultimate Tournament back in 2010, and we were calling him Hatman with a Batman-esque song. So maybe we can, he's the new Hatman. No, Hatman.
Oh, I was thinking about Hatman, about Scatman. But yes, also works.
Actually, no, the flat cap is definitely more Scatman than Batman vibes,
oh,
for sure.
2 players there for Leftover.
Friendly
come
fire.
Across each other's path. Yeah, as you mentioned, the friendly fire. That'll give Gold the disc back. Leftovers offense has given the disc up certainly a lot more than they would have liked.
Yeah, we only have the 1 berth to allocate turnovers on our stat sheet. That was a bit of a together.
An ambitious hammer over the top there for Gold, but way undersold in the end. That one into the backfield. A little bit of a reaching grab there for Gladish, but not a problem. Going down the far sideline, getting a bit more pace and rhythm to the offense, Leftovers. Big arcing swing across the field, right into the hands of the receiver to give Leftovers the lead again. Back in the hands of Saurova for her second goal.
I just heard to my left from our production booth just the word wow, which I think excellently describes how everyone feels about that beautiful lateral pass.
There was, yeah, you can see just comes straight across, tries to hold up, and yeah, one teammate takes out the other. I mean, it's an aggressive, ambitious swing, isn't it? Attacking really across the end zone.
But I love to see it. I'm very here for that action.
So hello to everyone watching at home, whether you are in Belgium supporting Gold or in the Czech Republic supporting Leftovers or anywhere in the world. Welcome to ULTI.TV's channel, where you can watch all of our streams this weekend from EUCF and all of our other Ultimate for free, live and on demand at your leisure. Paul's going to land out of bounds. Skitterkart will bring it in from the brick mark. Wild is waiting for him on the mark. And so far, again, just moving it around the back relatively comfortably here, Gold. Again, the zone is slowing Gold down, but they don't look massively flustered. Hoffman. Everything's coming short. The players downfield are trying to stretch the back half of this leftover zone, but at the moment it's very handler dominated.
Well, that is, of course, one of the key features of zone, just keeping the offense contained, making them have to throw so many passes and trying to make those handlers just grind them down into dust. But this is good flow from Gold. Clearly, the wisdom on their side to their favour.
Yeah, I wonder at what point, if any, we would see leftovers think about transitioning. Big swing across the field. That's going to open up a lot of space here. Desliper. Now they're just bouncing it not far outside the end zone. One more pass might do it. And that is that pass. Kinderkant into Skiertkata for his second goal this game, along with an assist as well. And 4 apiece.
Yeah, lovely flow. Eventually, the patience paid off. That find in the centre, really opening it up. And we're getting to see a timeout being called here on the fields. So as you see that one again, go grab yourself a tasty biscuit. We'll be back in just a few moments after this.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Oh, just a
Football!
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Nova Scotia Electric, become a member.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Welcome back to EUCF 2022. As you may have seen from the little advert, it's easier than ever to help support ULTI.TV in their mission of bringing free live Ultimate to the people, whether that be via the super chat or sticker functions here in YouTube or by becoming a member of our Patreon. By the way, patreon.com/ULTI.TV. You can find all the details there. You can help us bring Ultimate to the people as we are here, 4 apiece between leftovers and gold. Two sides who had very different fortunes yesterday, but so far on the field they seem very evenly matched. Nice little scuba over the top there from Brandstetter. Going back to Lichocka. Gladish. Preusel. Back to Gladish, just playing it a bit slower outside the end zone. Well, thought about the little pop in, didn't like it, so they're just going to continue to bounce it back and forth outside.
Well, they're taking a leaf out of Gold's book. In that last possession, they were so patient, and it just really worked nicely. So leftovers doing the same.
We've got the free reset available. Going to use the push pass. Is Preusel to get it there?
Well, it really is a thrower's win. The full tool set available.
Back to Gladish. Gladish to the end zone. Brandstetter on the receiving end this time to make it 5-4.
Yeah.
That was pretty clean.
It was clean as a whistle. I think realistically, Gold need to do something to try and assassinate the number 17 for Leftovers, Matthias Brandstetter. He's been involved in 4 out of the 5 points so far for Leftovers, 2 assists, 2 goals. Be interesting to see if they've maybe applied a zone, an assassin zone, where you sort of, basically have someone match marking that person and then trying to confuse the rest of the space. But something has to be done about that young gentleman, because he is all over the field for Leftovers on offense.
You say young gentlemen. I don't know how many young gentlemen wear flat caps.
I know several young gentlemen who wear flat caps, Benji.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, is it cool now?
Shout out to it depends on what part of the country you're from. So we're from the rather trendy south coast.
Mate, you know where I live. It's absolutely not trendy.
Well, it's more modern than other parts of the UK, where perhaps people of our generation do indeed wear flat caps, especially up north.
I was going to say, do you mean the north?
Some Lancashire, Yorkshire love. Other places.
I'm sure those two will love being mentioned next to each other.
Well, my surname's from the Lancashire side of the Pennines and my family's from the Yorkshire side of the Pennines, so I feel confident, saying both so close to each other.
Gold back on offense here. Van den Abele. Tight grab there made by Rahali. Here's Perron, who had that sensational grab for Gold's first goal. Saley down the far sideline. High reset, expertly caught by Skiet Kat.
This is just such nice flow, Benji. It's really, really just greased up the gears for Gold.
Whatever Gold worked on back at the accommodation last night seems to have worked. Thrown into the centre of the pitch. Saley to Rahali. Can they punch it in here? There's the up-line cut. It's got to go. It has to go. The defender fell over. And that goal for Perron, much easier than her first. Gold tie us at 5s.
Yeah, an unfortunate stumble from the defence gives William Perron easy space to work. And you can see it takes a little bit out of her having to grind it so hard. But I think one of the key things potentially for Gold has really been letting their women shine. We talked earlier in stages about how they were really trying to focus on trying to shut down the male hander set. And of course, creds to Brandstetter, who's been all over the field. Needs to do something about him. But when they're on offense, it's really apparent that they're sort of working it nicely for both sides, both teams across. But actually, I think the Gold women have been doing an excellent job in particular of making themselves available. There was the previous point actually where they had like a trio of cuts, one after the other, bang, 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 to the open side for Gold, and it was all female matching individuals. So perhaps the chaps sort of hanging back, letting some of the athletic chaps stay out of the way. It's a key thing with mixed. You do have those different stature, different skill players out on the field, and everybody has to stay active. All too many times you see a player that's perhaps maybe a little bit shorter, or just a bit different, kind of working some space, and someone poaching off their inactive player and making a bid. But zone, the name of the game now for Gold. They try and use those different bodies to great effect. Oh, and the pressure causes the turn.
Yeah, Van Hoorwege, I think, making his presence felt. Maybe Preussel could hear the footsteps coming in. Gold with another chance to break to take the lead. I've been in this position a couple of times, but haven't been able to cross the precipice. In the backfield here, Vandala. And that one is knocked down and got back by Leftovers immediately. They're gunning it deep, but the defender should palm that away. And Guarini flaps it back over his own head and gets the block. And there is a timeout call by Deman for Leftovers. For Gold, excuse me. I'm confused because Gold are not the team wearing gold.
It is a bit of an off-putting thing for us mentally, but I mean, I don't know, I'm not sure I'd call that a gold so much as just a straight-up yellow. But we're going to take a brief pause as the players on the field do. We'll be back after these messages.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Welcome back to EUCF 2022 mixed division action at the moment from Pool B. Leftovers from Brno in the Czech Republic up against Gentle from Ghent in Belgium. And at the moment it is tied at 5s, both sides hanging tough, with Gentle having the disc and the chance to break to take the lead for the first time this game.
They have had a couple of opportunities to take the break. It's not been a perfect, smooth sailing for the offense of Leftovers. Ooh, nice frustration for the defense. Called the bubble pass, redeemed.
Good focus there, backing up there from Rotiers. Now working it towards the far sideline. Planting, trying to redirect traffic into the center of the field. Wanting to isolate the reset, sneaking it around into the hands of Demand, now back on that far sideline. Röker. Calling for more support. Going to swing it instead to Marchand. Demand. Just beyond halfway now. The Belgians, what can they do?
Well, I think you just keep nibbling at the space between you and the end zone. This is good flow, and it's working out well for them. They're not having to grind too hard. They are holding onto the disc for quite a long time to squeak it through, but it's working out.
Yeah. Finding and threading that inside-out pass through to Frieder Röker. Now, Marchand provides the reset option. High, caught, putting a bit of air underneath. This one is Rotiers, and that is not an invitation that Gladish needs to receive twice as he greedily picks it off.
Well, that was Guarani just kind of being switched off in the back of the end zone. We talked about it a moment ago. That's that, you know, you've got to stay active, especially when you're playing mixed, or you'll see players that were available be taken away by someone else's mark.
Brandstetter tries to milk that in, but can't quite get there, and will flip to Kanska for her second goal instead. That time they got the isolation they wanted set up to Brandstetter, and it felt like there was just maybe lacking a little bit of communication, because there was a defender not far away, but evidently didn't get the call to peel off. 6-5 to Leftovers.
And another on the tally for Brandstetter. That's 5 of 6.
There's the deep shot earlier for Leftovers that palmed almost volleyball style away. And then the overthrow, I say overthrow, just went through the clutches but was rescued. And then after the turn again, Brandstetter going big. I think he sees that the curl is just going to make it not quite possible to jump that one in. So the lead pass to Kanska is the option instead.
A shout out to Helene Rotiers on that point generally, cleaning up the trash that was sort of bobbled out of her teammates' hands. Did not quite have the best option in terms of the choice of trying the scoring attempt, but it was there on the defense as well. Just 2-on-1 in the end zone. You're never going to win that one.
So still on serve in this game. No breaks as yet. Both sides have turned it over a few times, but their opposition has not been able to capitalise. This one is put deep. Well read, no!
Catch your Ds.
If you don't catch your Ds, that's always what could happen. Kutner tried to palm it away, but there was someone waiting behind, and it was Piron who gladly accepted it at the second time of asking.
Yeah, a high shot, a nice D, but not quite enough to prevent Gold from another offensive hold. 0 breaks so far in this match.
I mean, we've said it so many times on stream over the years. Catch your Ds, and just gets caught a little bit underneath it and can only tip it round the corner. And that's where Piron is waiting.
Waiting. Right place, right time. But, you know, making yourself an option is really key.
I wonder there if the defender actually gets a little wants to put pressure on the initial reception and gets a little bit too far underneath the disc, and that means when they try and get the tip, they're having to lean backwards and adjust slightly. So 6 apiece, a game that's closer than maybe would have been expected given the scorelines yesterday. As we mentioned, Leftovers, a 15-7 win over catch-up, whereas Gold were 12-1 down to disconnection when the games were called yesterday because of lightning that we feared might make a reappearance today, but mercifully, that grim spectre that's slightly hanging over these championships hasn't reappeared.
Well, I'd be interested to know, actually, with this 4-day format, maybe if Gold were missing a few people from yesterday, some key personnel that maybe have come across this morning. We'll have to find out.
It is one of the things that you have to factor in, of course, that not everyone has the same availability.
It certainly hurt a lot of women in the women's division. Just those childcare arrangements, so difficult to get that extra day for, and expensive.
So faking the backhand down the line, instead resetting back to Gladish. Finds Preusel. Preusel to Brandstetter. Again, looking very calm around the back as Gold staying in the zone. Brandstetter's looking at potentially another assist. Resetting instead to Batulshek. On the far sideline, Lichocka. Back to Batulshek. Ooh, faking the hammer, but just putting that one in the toolbox for now. Trying to squeeze that one around. Is that a toe in? Brilliantly done. Lovely bit of toe drag swag there from Lichocka for Leftovers to put them 7-6 up.
And look how pleased she is with herself. The celebration of that almost as glorious as the reeling of the goal. Balletic scenes for Leftovers as they keep their lead. Nearly ending out this first half. We've got 10 minutes left of regulation time before, of course, the timed half cap would be put on. So we are going to make it to 8. Of course, these games to 15 full with 90 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a timeout called on the pitch, so while both teams take a little breather, we'll do the same here in the booth as you see the replay of that previous score. Just sneaking that one around the mark there is Gladish, and there's the toe drag from Lichocka. We'll see you on the other side in about a minute or two's time.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
Back here in Caorle, Italy, for EUCF 2022 mixed division action. Leftovers from Brno in the Czech Republic up against Gold from Ghent in Belgium, and 7-6 the Czechs lead here. Not long left in this first half, a half that has been entirely on serve. Both sides have had chances to break, but neither side has been able to capitalise on them. I must say that generally it feels like Gold have played the better Ultimate on offence, but this might give Leftovers the chance to break to take half.
And that would be a big momentum changer.
Yeah, they've shifted Gladish over to play some defence here, and he's got the disc in his hands. Shifnerova. Ishishipanik. Magda Batushak, another player who's doing some double duty at the moment. A round break, not quite in the end zone, past the bidding defender. But for all of Gold's chances, they couldn't quite get it done. And Leftovers, their D-lines, first time they've touched the disc since their first D point of the game, gets it back and then instantly punches it in, and that'll be 8-6 to Leftovers at half. It's a cruel game this sometimes. A turnover that came pretty much out of nothing, just a miscommunication maybe, not sure which of the two receivers that wanted to throw to, and then bouncing it quickly around the back, found that breakthrough. Defender went for the bid, but Piron didn't get there, and that meant that there's no pressure on that continuation into the end zone. And 8-6 Leftovers lead at half, but Gold by no means out of this.
Absolutely, Benji. A bit of a heartbreak for Gold, that short field as well, making it much easier for Leftovers to just punch that goal in, which they did in emphatic style. But I think probably it's just that little bit of edge, and it does feel, like you say, when Gold have had possession, they have been the better team by a hair even. But we'll see how this one develops. It could well all change in the second half as these two teams get to know each other even better. But we're going to take a brief break here. We'll be back with the action of the rest of this game in but a few.
See you on the other side.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Welcome back to EUCF 2022, live from the airport fields here in Caorle, Italy. If you're kind of wondering where that is, it's about an hour east of Venice, maybe in the car. I think that's how long the transfer bus took on Wednesday night. Very atmospheric journey it was too, with some lightning crashing away in the distance, and that lightning was back yesterday evening. It cut the last round of games short. There was the potential as well that we'd have lightning this morning, but mercifully it has so far abated, and we've got a really entertaining game for you here in the mixed division. Leftovers against Gold. Leftovers getting the game's first break to take half 8-6. Benji Rees alongside Hannah Pendlebury for you in the booth.
Absolutely, Benj. And the late coming of that break could well be the one that sneaked across, but there's an error there, just bobbling off the hands of Jon den Abele.
So, good Leftovers having broken to end the first half, break to start the second. Around towards the far sideline for Jurasek. Centering pass, finds Jezak. Not far outside the end zone. Might have to take the reset here with the stall count rising. Does get it off here. Jurasek. Slightly rising throw, but not a problem to be reeled in by Newbury. Now shooting down the sideline, still not quite in the end zone just yet. Jelesna back into the centre and straight into the waiting arms of Desleper for Gold.
That was some very smart poaching off. Couple of players for Gold just hanging out in the space, confusing it. And a great way to get a turnover. And a timeout call.
Very early in the half for a timeout, but I guess Gold feeling, okay, we've clearly not started the second half in the way we want to. Let's arrest the momentum, stop the situation before it ever even develops.
Absolutely. Well, I think a smart moment to take a pause. You've got 2 timeouts per half, so you might as well use them. We're going to take a break, though. We'll be back after these messages.
Feed them capitalism. Sorry?
Up. Third for the game.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
EUCF 2022, early in the second half here. Leftovers versus Gold in the mixed division. Brno versus Kent. Really testing my pronunciation skills here.
Well, you do need a good challenge every now and then, Benji.
I mean, it's one of the best things about coming to these European and international events is getting the chance to get your head and your mouth around various different languages and see Ultimate from different cultures. Still count rising, so trying to put a bit of air underneath it down the sideline, and it works as well. Skiet cut, reels it in, and then the lead pass into the end zone for Van den Abele. And that is 8-7, so took them a couple of opportunities, but the timeout eventually worked there for Gold, and they're just the 1 point down now.
Indeed, trailing that break after the first half. Nice defense, really squeezing out the channels, but off to the races. I've been very impressed, actually, by the downfield work of the number 42, Corentin Schitkate. He has been all over the stats board for this Belgian side.
Yeah, a couple of goals, assists as well. Been playing for a decade now, played for Mooncatchers, Skywalkers, and Jet Set based in Leuven, also in Belgium. It's come up through the various youth national teams as well.
And we're getting a lot of love from the chat for the Belgian side. Feel free to, you know, if you want some shout-outs, where are you watching our stream from? Are you a patron? Make yourselves known. If you're not a patron yet, you can become one very easily. How do the people do that, Benj?
Patreon.com/ULTI.TV, or you can find out more information on our website, which is ULTI.TV. And you can also, there's more ways to get involved than ever now. You can use super chats or stickers right here in YouTube as well. This one, putting a bit of air underneath it, over the top. Wide open in space there is Gladish. But nothing continuing from that, so just going back into the backfield, playing it short again. Here's the talismanic Brandstetter.
You know what? Having actually him playing on the field quite so close to our booth, it's impressed me just how young he is. Brandstetter.
You can see it, can't you?
Yeah, you can see it in his face. It is indeed a young man wearing a flat cap.
Bartuszek. Down the sideline, comfortably caught. Plakimetsova for the goal. That was nice, clean, calm, exactly what leftovers needed to put in their first point of this second half.
Absolutely. That was just, it just looked easy. Like they were just sort of, you know, just running a drill in the park. Nice and simple.
So seeing the replays of the score there, 9-7 leftovers lead, having got just the one break in the game so far, on the stroke of half-time to give them an 8-6 lead, and we've trained it at the start of this second half.
Indeed, and it's that curious thing of when you just get that one break just before half-time, and then you come out starting on defence. It's that curiousness of, obviously, at the moment, it's that double trading up because leftovers won the toss and started out this game with disc in hand. But Gold is still very much in this. They just have to not make the same personal errors that they saw. They're sort of slipping away in the late stages of that first half. But this is nice stuff.
Piron getting it out of our hands quickly, something that I know Coach Valerio Ianni will be very keen to see as one of the disciples of the Hive, really preaching that quick disc movement and getting that offensive spacing set. Here's one shot over the top deep towards the far side of the end zone, and Skiet Carter continues his phenomenal game, the young man here. Just 20 years old, but he plays with the presence of a player the age of a lot of his teammates.
Well, I absolutely love the launch on that throw, the spice on the disc. A little bit of perhaps of a higher stall option, great matchup defense to stop the earlier options, but Sarah Rahali just opening up the cannon to Shitakata.
Yeah, Kotek's clearly thinking that Skiakata is going to take the under here, so he's really marking that out. And then a big firm plant takes that deep cut off, and as he mentioned, brilliantly placed throw from Rahali. Game 2 of 6 here today. So 2 fields we're streaming here on ULTI.TV at the moment. Leftovers Gold here. Mooncatcher's Chevron on the field just over to our left-hand side. And 4 more games on each pitch to come today. 6 games on each pitch tomorrow. And then the 3 finals on Sunday morning. So still plenty of Ultimate to come.
Absolutely exciting stages, these early games where anything could happen. We did expect this to be a much widest scoreline after the results of yesterday, where Gold did not have a good day at all. But this is a much better matchup, and we're pleased to see it. It's always nice to have that on the live stream.
This is the great thing about, you know, you look at it on paper and it doesn't always seem that close, but mercifully the game is not played on paper.
And we continue to have lots of love in the chat for Gentle.
Yeah,
don't think it'll be a gold medal at the end of the weekend, but certainly this is a polished performance.
Yeah, Gold, we saw them singing a lot of Spandau Ballet.
We love to see it. Absolutely love to see it.
Don't know if I love to hear it.
Oh, I love to hear it and see it.
I mean, I have no problems with the song itself, just
the slightly ropey renditions you hear when it comes out of Frigid players' mouths?
yeah, although they are a lot sober than I usually hear. So that is something at least. They're trying to lead this one down the sideline, and Bartuszek brings it in from Preussel's throw, and Leftovers open their 2-point margin again at 10-8.
That is a gorgeous release on that one. I'm looking forward to seeing it back in slow motion. Just the plant. It's a difficult one to execute with, you know, the right touch, but just a good grind down that far sideline. Did you see that give and go immediately running deep? But another one for Leftovers, just trotting through this game now.
Yeah, at the moment you feel Leftovers in control, probably.
Yeah, I'd say that. It's the difference is, I think there is more pressure being applied to Gold when they have the disc. That's probably the differential, and the thing that's kind of really allowed Leftovers to have gotten that break at the end of the first half. Gold just need to clean it up a tiny bit.
Yeah, it was weird. For much of the first half, Gold were generating themselves more opportunities but couldn't punch it in, and then Leftovers, maybe with the confidence of getting that break just before half. Now their offense has been very clean in the second period. Still count rising. Swing goes to Rahali on the far side.
Yeah, wearing a slightly different colour to the rest of her teammates. Although in the Spirit Circle there was a bit of joking because Gold were in half green, half black to play some scrimmages ahead of the game. They said, are you guys going to change, or are you going to stay like that?
I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping that they went all green. Green versus yellow is a much more interesting kit matchup to me. But hey-ho, what can you do? Skiet Carter can't milk it all the way into the end zone. Is in bounds right on that front cone. Oh, an expansive blade all the way over the top. Macked by the first receiver, and the player behind, Sally, couldn't get a hand on it.
Yeah, a very ambitious throw to try and execute. I do like it as an option in terms of the spacing on the field, but yeah, that's an outdoor power knife, that one.
Got to play a bit more indoors, I think, to bring those in. Credit the Leftovers defender there, who, yeah, not winning the height matchup, but being enough of a presence to prevent the disc going to hand, and that's all you need to do. Close to being picked off in the end zone there, Petit Slipper, but...
Well, that would be huge. That would be huge for Gold if they could get a Callahan.
And Newbury, I think, was already looking downfield for the next pass, and it bounces out of her grasp. This one is going to be floated over the top towards the back of the end zone, where Rahali is all alone to make the grab and bring Gold back within one at 10-9.
Well, that is chef kiss level offense. Rahali just finds that little pocket and sits in it, and just the shaping on that disc, very nice. Didn't have to be too much of a laser because no one else had really realised that Rahali was there. And a good hold for Gold.
Yeah, for Newbury, it's the unfortunate walrus, I think, where you turn it over and then give up the score at the other end.
I think that might also be referred to as double sadness.
Oh, you know, strangely, I've never heard anyone call it double sadness. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. If it's double happiness, the other, when you get the turn and then score, there's the drop, just focus error maybe, and Oh, actually, that's I'm not sure who the initial player
she
was on Rahali.
She was matching up against the number 5, Esther Hoffman.
So I take it all back. But even so, it is frustrating when there's a player wide open at the back of the end zone, and somehow there's been a bust in coverage. But that's what the quick pickup often does.
Well, a smart way to go to work. Desudbert, I think that is with the thing. But back in action now, and Leftovers looking to try and maintain their lead.
Leftovers O-line hasn't turned it over yet in this second half on their 2 points, and they're not going to here either. Nice lead pass there for Bartuszek, who's becoming more of a presence as this game goes on. 11-9 Leftovers lead. Again, they've really hit form now.
Yeah, we've been giving a lot of love to Brandstetter, but as you say, Bartuszek now sort of making a name for himself. I think we're starting to see Brandstetter, like, I don't know if it's necessarily the defense making him do this, but kind of just, you know, being more of a cog in the system rather than getting all of the decoration, although he was there available behind.
Yeah, the other games going on in this pool at the moment. Smog up 10-8 on catch-up. Do not have a score for you at the moment in Deep Space versus Disconnection. If we do get any updates, of course, we'll let you know. Gentle's open side. I've seen off Devon 15-9 elsewhere around the venue as well.
And the strange thing, of course, is that even though we've got this lovely field site that's beautifully flat here, we don't actually have all of the fields. There's a satellite site going on as well elsewhere, the St. George site. And that is hosting some floodlights as well, so those games can go on a little bit longer in these sort of autumn conditions.
Yeah, there were a couple of games, maybe 3 games at the end of yesterday that while everyone else was stopped for lightning, because the fields, of course, are a little bit further away, they were not in radius of that, so those games were able to be fully played out.
Indeed, and some of the teams having to come to dinner quite late after some flight delays.
Here's Perron shooting down the sideline for Skiet Carter, and tell you what, if it had a little bit more on it, he might have got there.
Absolutely, a really nice option. Perfectly timed in terms of the release, but just a tiny bit too low. But this is the edge, you know, Leftovers really are kind of, you know, just executing at that slightly higher level. Gold options are nice, but they're just not quite there.
That one down the sideline. I thought potentially Shifnerova was going to go for the continuation. She does at the second time of asking. And Wild catches for the goal in the game's second break, and it goes Leftovers' way again for a 12-9 lead, getting a little bit of separation now between themselves and their Belgian opponents.
Yeah, that is some really pleasant offense to watch. And the fake actually really does open up the space. You know, is that the obvious option almost? You know, that one from Sivnova. Like, it would be so easy to have thrown that initially, thrown it a bit too hard, a bit too far with all that momentum carried. But very nice stuff from Leftovers and a well-earned second break.
Yeah, using that, using the edge of the disc nicely to continually get those curling back inbounds. So 12-9 to Leftovers now. Probably the favourites coming into this game, I think you'd have to say, but Gold have played them close. Maybe this is the time when the Czechs can really put their foot on the gas and pull away. Or maybe Gold can find the fight back. Who knows?
Well, I wouldn't put it past them. They do have the quality within their side. But at the moment, they're just getting a little bit bested.
Here's Van den Albele. Trying to squeeze that one down the sideline for Perron, who reels it in. quickly into the centre. Vandela. Rahali. Stoppage downfield for a pick, which we've had very few of this game, which I guess is probably not unsurprising when you have coaches who prioritise playing these more spread offences that try and avoid picks. Here's the shot for Piron at the back of the end zone, and it was really well knocked down by the leftovers defender, who got a little bit of contact underneath it as well, but held a position and a really good read.
Yeah, I think that was just a case of Piron just sort of sitting back and hoping that the defender hadn't read it as well as she did. Sort of a bit of a late bid forward.
Here's a deep shot for leftovers. This one is blading, and that's not going to be reeled in. Gold wanted the quick pickup through Skiert Kat, but instead, Van den Abel picking it up. Here's a leading pass, just too far out of front for Vandela. Breaking around to Newbury, there is a pick, so that'll go back.
After your comment, clearly the players on the field have decided to put all their picks in a single point.
Jakub Juraszek has the disc in his hands at the moment. And he's going to look deep, trying to shoot towards the far side of the end zone. I'm pretty sure Shishpanik was not the intended receiver there. He reels it in, but there is another pick called.
I feel justified in what I said, that they're putting all of them into this point.
Yeah, as the game goes on, maybe players get a little bit more fatigued and your shape and your spacing isn't quite as disciplined.
But coming back, Jurasek, just gonna get it moving. Nice break.
Down the sideline for Jezac. That one floating a little bit. Not a problem though for Shishpanik, and not the connection there towards the end zone. Again, Gold picking up quickly.
Yeah,
here's Rahali.
Trying to hit Hispanic, but she wasn't expecting that inside disc. It's a really, really hard shot. Basically just threw it directly at her knees as she was running away.
Hoffman, that one is high, and a hand in there will knock it away from Železna. And timeout called here. With you can tell that the offense getting a little bit sloppy from both sides, and Jakub Juraszek clearly deciding that, you know what, let's cool things down a bit. Let's get a little bit of a breather to get our heads back in the game, and I think we're going to do the same here in the booth, but don't go anywhere, because the conclusion of this game continues shortly. Leftovers 12, gold 9 is the current score here at EUCF 2022, live from Caorle, Italy.
Caorle.
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 I'm enjoying rolling the R's.
Not sure what animal that is.
No, me neither. Leftovers will have a chance to break again, coming off this timeout.
They certainly will. And in terms of the stats of this game, it really does show the difference in terms of the offensive execution. The perfect conversions have been even Stevens. 6 for the O-line of gold and 6 for the O-line of leftovers. But of course, the perfect conversions, the conversion rate for the defensive line, there's been 2 completely clean dominations from leftovers, which of course have been those 2 breaks. So they've had opportunities aplenty, but when they're looking very good, they're just almost unstoppable by gold, it seems.
So here we are coming off the timeout. Leftovers looking to really assert and extend their advantage. Into the centre of the pitch, got both sides to aim at, and slashing through to the front of the end zone there. Shishipanik finds Jezac, and that'll be 13-9. 2 points away from the win now, the Czechs.
And this is the result we did expect after those early games yesterday. But I think it's been tighter than we would have put some odds on if we were gambling people, which of course we're not, Benji.
No.
With access to privileged information such as we are.
Also,
We don't want there to be a foregone conclusion of any of these games.
No, also I just think I'd be rubbish at it.
Well, one of our commentators, Sean Colfer, is a writer as well, often writes previews and dares to make predictions of final position standings.
Making predictions is fine, as long as you just don't, as long as you accept that you're all going to be wrong.
Although we do enjoy when, there's maybe a bit of a competition. The picks contests are always good. But at this tournament, you have an MVP contest. So if there's any particular player that's standing out for you as you watch these live streams, do feel free to nominate them via the Google form, which we will put in the links for you to view.
I'll tell you what, I'll do that now.
Man of the people, Benji Rees.
Gold back on offense here, Guarini. Going short, trying to fall, just about gets that past the bidding defender, Venslava.
Huge effort.
Rüker. Again, trying to keep it calm and flow their way to the end zone here, Gold. Don't want to rush things a little bit. Give another opportunity to their opposition. Rüker goes to ground to secure the catch and
Caught an injury.
Landed heavily, I guess.
Big ground contact. I think just slightly awkward on maybe one of the legs there, or just winded herself perhaps. Great form on the layout. I think she hit. Considering the pace with which she hit the ground, that was actually really good work to stay that level, especially with that sort of splayed leg. But hopefully she'll be able to return. Maybe not for this game, as we're sort of starting to run out of time, and certainly out of points if leftovers can retain their current form. But hopefully she'll be able to return to play for the rest of this championship tournament.
So outside the end zone there, Rahali just with a simple punch in at the front of the end zone to Guarini will make it 13-10. Gold still just about within touching distance, but rapidly running out of time. Haven't been able to get any breaks yet so far this game, the Belgians, and they're going to need to start now. So 13-10 leftovers lead here. Gold maybe switching up their lines a little bit here to try and find ways to generate the break. The first of a few that they'll need. I feel like the wildlife presence has increased somewhat of late.
Yeah, we did have some drizzle this morning that was keeping the buzzing, flying, winged insects away from the field site, but there are clouds of swarming flying ants which make their presence known. If anyone has a spare aerosol and lighter, perhaps they want to come to the field site and clear some of these guys.
I would just take some bug spray, to be honest. Although I don't know how effective it will be in such large swathes, but we carry on regardless. Kanska into Gladish. Gladish looking deep. The blade down the sideline for Brandstetter. Haven't called his name as much in this second half, but that time he's bang on the money to Daniel Prissel to bring leftovers within one of the win.
Yep, nice flow there from leftovers, keeping it cool and calm as we indeed see the last few points of this match. Do you reckon we're going to get a break from leftovers to just sign this one off with a little bit of flair?
Potentially. I think Gold probably have enough to put this 0 point in, but it feels like the end is probably coming sooner rather than later.
Although a comeback from now would be something pretty spectacular. We'd definitely run over time if we did.
100%.
But we would not be mad to see it. Just FYI, Gold.
It will be game to 15 regardless. Just over 10 minutes until the cap comes on here. Just going to tell you what we've got coming up next here on the schedule. On this pitch, which is field 4 at the field site, it's mixed division action with Reading versus Puke. Reading got their first win of the tournament on the board this morning, whereas Puke had a tough universe point victory over Lemmings. Those two teams are probably finding out to take second in that pool behind Hrit. On the other pitch, we will have Disco Bolo taking on Synthesis.
Indeed, and Synthesis, the combo team coming out of the women's division of the UK. Sick, Scram and Spice.
That one is high down the sideline, too high. Leftovers will be looking to end this with the break. And there's the deep shot. What a deep shot it is as well. So much air underneath it. Really leapt out of the hand. Chased down by Kudna. And that is game for Leftovers. What a throw to do so as well.
Well, I asked if it was going to be a bit of flair to finish, and that was bedazzling. Beautiful stuff. Such a lovely way to end that one. I think Leftovers did just have that little bit extra of a gilded edge over Gold, really. But a wonderful game. Credit to both sides. Some fantastic scenes. And I mean, I still am recovering from that first score where we saw the huge bid from Rolien Piron. But hey, credit to the Czech side. They have a little bit more experience at this level, I think, in terms of specifically the European Championships. But that was a very fun game to watch.
Yeah, so final score here is Leftovers 15, Gold 10. A little under 20 minutes until our next game on this field, which, as we mentioned, will be Reading versus Puke in the mixed division once more. But in the meantime, on behalf of all our ULTI.TV crew and Hannah Pendlebury, I'm Benji Reese saying we will see you on the other side.
Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV.